I am surrounded by books, not just in my home library, but in my office that's on the campus. So many books. You can choose one of several books to read for this particular public speaking class. So I'm going to take you through the variety of books you choose, from which you can choose. You only need to choose one for this class. You do not need to choose like multiple ones or even get a hold of all of these books. So this first book, the Public Speaking for College and Career 11th edition book, is the official textbook for this class. It is from this book I am taking the chapter information. So when you look at the schedule for this class, the chapters that are listed are from this book. So, and if you want to get the official textbook for this class, that's fine, right? I'm going to give you a huge list of books from which you can choose. So this is the official one. Ebook is fine, a PDF, whatever you want to use. There is also the 10th edition of the same book. You can choose this one instead. So the 10th edition of Public Speaking for College and Career is another option. Yet another option is something in publishing which is called a trade book. So a trade book is the kind of book that you would find at a bookstore, right? So it's not something necessarily that is considered a textbook. It's for the general population. So Persuasion, the revolutionary or a revolutionary way to influence and persuade, is about what separates an okay persuader from a marvelous persuader. So it's that whole concept of ethos, pathos, and logos, which of course we'll talk about in here. If you can get a hold of a copy of California Women Speak, Speeches of California Women in Public Office, you can do that. This is an actual book filled with the text of speeches. So you do not have to get a book in this class that is about public speaking. You can get a book that it is filled with speeches, and this is one of the options. So another option, which is not in this office right now, it is over on the campus office, is something called Speak Up, an Illustrated Guide to Public Speaking. It looks like this. So if you want to get this book, you can get this book. It's a textbook. Another book that is not in my home office, but instead is on campus, is something called Public Speaking Playbook 3rd edition. And it looks like this. So yet even more books. There's a book by Gunn called Speechcraft, also in my campus office, looks like this. So again, there are books on this list that aren't about public speaking. They are instead about the actual presentation, an actual speech. So Man Cannot Speak for Her Volume 1 and Man Cannot Speak for Her Volume 2 they're kind of companion books. So Carlin Kors Campbell put these two together. The second book is Texts of Speeches. So Early Feminists is the first wave of feminism, it's suffrage. So these are speeches, and this is information about the social movement to get women the vote, so that women could vote in the United States. So Man Cannot Speak for Her, Volume 1 and Volume 2 are about first wave of feminism, the right to vote. So another book in my office is called The Art of Public Speaking. Looks like this. So it's in my campus office, not my home office. So another book, sort of trade book again, is one called Cheating, Dishonesty, and Manipulation, Why Bright Kids Do It. It's by Kate Maupin. Self-disclosure, I used to work for this publisher. They are no longer in Tucson. Matter of fact, a few months after I left the company left Tucson. So I use information for this class from this book regarding ethics. So this might be one, if you're interested in that type of topic, then perhaps you want to get that one. So another one is called Critical Thinking, Evaluating Claims and Arguments in Everyday Life. This is the second edition. So we're gonna get in the Wayback Machine. If you can find this one, yay you. This particular textbook is one that you really probably would find more in a philosophy class. But if that's your jam and you want to look at how arguments are set up, and something called logical fallacies, so what seems to be valid as an argument is entirely flawed. So maybe you want to get that book. So another book, and I've actually used this one in the classroom. Well, I've used a lot of these in the classroom, but this one is called The Pocket Guide to Public Speaking, 4th edition. It looks like this, but I also have on the list the 6th edition. So the Pocket Guide to Public Speaking is the 6th edition, so you can always check this one out if you'd like. Are you overwhelmed yet? Whoever knew that you could have any choice out of like almost 20 books. So another trade book. This is actually from a publishing company in Phoenix area. So in public speaking, there's various things that we can do as public speakers. We inform, we persuade, we celebrate, but we also tell stories. So this particular book is about the craft of storytelling, and storytelling is something, it's not just writing a narrative, it's being able to present that as a speaker. So this one is called From Audience to Zeal, the ABCs of Finding, Crafting, and Telling a Good Story. That is another book. The next book is actually a Tucson writer. Penelope Starr wrote The Radical Act of Community Storytelling, Empowering Voices in Uncensored Events. There is actually an organization, matter of fact, several organizations in Tucson that have storytellers stand on a stage and tell a story. Penelope Starr started Odyssey Storytelling in Tucson. I've been a participant, so I get up on a stage and I tell a story. All right, so the next book is called Persuasion and Social Movements. So persuasion is an everyday rhetoric. Persuasion is something we do every day. It's very simple, like let's go to this restaurant, let's order out from this restaurant. No, I want to go to this one. But when we look at something like social movements, you'll see persuasion embedded into that. So if you're interested in that particular area of public speaking, then persuasion and social movements may be the one for you. The next book is the St. Martin's Guide to Public Speaking. Looks like this. I'm obviously not holding it, I'm showing you the picture. And yet more. So another book is by Verteber and Selma called Speak, Public Speaking. It's the 4th edition. It looks like the photo that you see here. That was it. All of these books are listed on your syllabus. They were also listed throughout this presentation, right? So as I was talking about them, you saw them. Choose one of these. Choose any one of these particular books. And that's the one that you're going to read for this particular class. Thank you so much for staying with me for nearly 10 minutes. Can't wait to talk to you more. Thanks again.